Hello, good evening, and nice to see you again. I'm Loretta from Nyonyarecipe, and I'm very comfortable in my kitchen because I love to cook. So tonight we're going to do a dish that we eat not that often because we've got so many dishes to cook, but I normally cook the simple ones. And the reason why I chose this dish today is because it's a very simple dish. We used to eat it when we were younger in Penang, where I come from. And it's very, very simple, and it only needs three ingredients or so, three or so ingredients. So it's actually minced meat, and the meat that we use is usually pork. Yeah. So what we have is 300 grams of pork, minced pork, which you can actually buy it from the supermarket, or you can actually mince it yourself. I actually had some pork that I had in the freezer, so I defrosted it and I mince it in my chopper. So I pulse it so it doesn't get too sticky. Okay, all right. And the next item is actually onion. You need about 200 grams of onions. I've got very small onions because I bought 1 kilo of brown onions, so any onions will do. And you need about 200 grams of potato. Now the potato that you see now is actually not fresh. It's got roots coming out, but it's okay. In our Love Food Headways class, we were told that we can eat this potato so long as we cut off the green part, of the potato, because the green part is actually poisonous. So we cut off the green part and we can actually use it. And what I've done is, I've actually soak it in water so that it pumps up a bit and it's easier to peel the skin. So I think it's more than 200 here, but I'll just take about 200 plus or so. Yeah. And we need 2 fat cloves of garlic. And that's all. And of course, we need to have some seasoning, which will go along. And I can show you. Okay. The seasoning is, we need some Worcestershire sauce. Okay. Some pepper. Some salt. A bit of sugar. And if you like, you can have some seasoning or MSG or whatever. Or actually, when you have fresh meat there's no need to add in extra seasoning. But if you want it to taste better, you're free to do so. So let me go and prepare the potatoes, and then I'll show you how to cook it. Okay, now I've got the potatoes peeled and the onions skinned and peeled. So all we've got to do is to cut it. Okay, so let me put the camera here. Okay, can you see? Okay, so now I like to cut it in slices. So we cut it about 1/4 of a cm thick. 1/4 of a cm thick. All right. I like to cut it into rings. You can cube it or whatever, it's up to you. But this is how I will cook it. Yeah. Oops, there's something here. I should cut this away. Okay, just continue cutting it. Once you cut it, you set it aside. This is actually more than 200. It's about 250. Yeah. So the measurement is not like so accurate like baking a cake, so it can be a bit, and therefore it can be a bit variable. If you like to eat more of the meat, you put more of the meat. If you want to save some money and you want to have less meat, it's perfectly alright. But this is how I would cook it. Okay, just cut this thing away. Okay, so now I've got the potato done. Yeah, it's in disc form. Yeah, slices. Now I'm going to cut the onion in the same thickness and the same style. Yeah. Again, this is slightly more than 200, but it's okay. Okay. Comes to the end is a bit difficult. So if you don't want to cut it, you can actually save this up to do a stir fry. The bits you can use it for stir fry. So I set it aside. I like to put all my things in a plate so that everything is there when I want to cook it. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's a bit tricky now. Okay. And then we chop the garlic. Okay. It's very easy to chop. We just bang it with our hand or cleaver if you have a cleaver. It's going to be chopped anyway, so you don't have to like peel it into a nice piece like what you learn in the cookery school. Well, I didn't go to any cookery school. I just went for a class, and the instructor said, this is how you peel your garlic, you know. Oh gosh, I don't have the time to do that. Anyway, we want it to be minced, you know, chopped, so it doesn't really matter. So we've got this done. Yeah, move this here a bit, it's brighter here. Then we just chop it one way and lengthwise, and then turn it the other way, it's easier. If you have a garlic press, you can use a garlic press. So it's like done now. Not too fine, not too coarse. If you want it to be finer, it's up to you, but this is good enough for me. So I'm going to put it in a plate. Voila, we're ready for cooking. Okay, we're ready for cooking. Okay, we're ready to cook. We've got all our ingredients prepared here, and so we're going to use a pan. Okay, so let's heat up the pan. Okay, and we'll add a tablespoon of oil, 2 tablespoons, or if you use a spray, you can use a spray. The amount of oil is not important, yeah? Oops, just put 1 tablespoon. Okay, put this here. That's my things. Okay, so heat up the oil. So I normally season my pork with some salt and pepper. Yeah, I put a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Where's my pepper? Okay, let me get my pepper. With some pepper. Sorry. So I season it. Okay, so the next step is to put in the garlic. we normally put the garlic in first, yeah, and then we'll fry it to a bit of, so that it's a bit brown, but not burnt. Yeah, give it a good stir. So okay, and then you can add in the pork, the meat, you know, just put it in. Sometimes you can make it into patties if you like, but to me this is just okay. Fry it. Just toss it around. And let it cook for a while. It's always better to sear the meat when you're cooking it, so it has a very nice aroma rather than just put everything inside. It's always better to sear it. If you buy ready-made minced, it can be quite watery. So this is the one I made it myself. Okay. I put on high. Okay, you can add your potatoes and onions. Okay, just turn it up, toss it about, and then you put about half a cup of water. And then you let it cook. You let it simmer until the potato is cooked. So in the meantime, we're going to add in the, oops, my pen fell. Add in the seasoning. We're I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. One, 2. And I need to get some soy sauce. Oh, I thought I brought out the soy sauce, but it's not out. Two tablespoons of soy sauce. Light soy sauce, yeah? Okay, we'll let it simmer. It's a bit dark, isn't it, with the soy sauce? Actually, a deeper pan would be nicer. The onion ring will begin to separate, yeah? I'm not going to add any sugar yet because I want to taste it before I add any sugar. Sometimes you don't need to have sugar. Let it simmer a bit, yeah? So I'm going to remove this. So it's after 4 or 5 minutes. Ooh, I'm going to give it a stir. Everything should be cooked. If it's not cooked, we just give it a few more minutes. Yeah. Oh, this one has got like a bit of a burn at the bottom, but it's okay. It will melt nicely. Meld, M-E-L-D, not M-E-L-T. Don't think it's cooked yet because it doesn't look cooked. Okay, you might want to give it a few more minutes. So while this thing is cooking, I'm going to cook rice. So I'm going to leave it for a few minutes and I'm going to make my rice because I'm doing it very early and I'm filming. Normally I'll cook rice before I start doing other things. Okay, so let's see, it's another about 5 minutes. Let's just check whether it's done. Okay, looks like it's done. Check this one. Yeah, it's done. I think it needs another few more minutes because some of it is a bit hard, so you can always add a bit more water if it's a bit dry. I think we give it another 2 to 3 minutes. Add a bit more water. Oh, I forgot to taste it. I must taste it first. Okay, let's try and taste it and see what's the taste like. Whether we need to add sugar or not, I prefer not to, but sometimes a bit of sugar makes it taste, brings out the taste better, you know, brightens up the taste. It's a bit sourish because of the Worcestershire sauce. I think afterwards I'll add a bit more salt. Yeah, to make it a bit more salty. Okay, let's see whether it's done after another 3 to 4 minutes. Let's check whether it's totally cooked. Yeah, it's cooked. Yep, the potatoes are cooked. So what I like to do is I like to taste it again. If you want to add more potatoes, it's okay, you know. It looks like not that much. We usually put more potatoes. It's okay. It's a bit sourish because of the Li and Perrin. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some more salt. Just a bit more salt. Maybe a 1/4 teaspoon. And then some pepper. Yeah, and if you like, you can add some seasoning if you want to, but or MSG, it's up to you. A bit of seasoning. Okay, I'll bring it nearer. I'll bring the camera nearer. So this one should be about a bit with a bit of sort of syrupy, you know, a bit of gravy. If you want to thicken the gravy, it's okay. If you don't want to thicken, it's also okay. Yeah. So let me try again. I'm so fussy. Yeah, it tastes so much better now. I think I'll add a tad more water. I hardly add anything. Okay, another 2 tablespoons. Okay, so this is done. Yeah, we can actually serve this now with rice. So I'm actually cooking rice. So let me plate it up for you. So that's what you get when you cook potato with meat. Okay, so I'm going to plate it up for you. So I'm going to plate it up in a sort of a bowl. My daughter calls it a plate bowl, but actually it's like a cereal bowl, you call it, which is deep enough to put things with gravy. Yeah. This is for my testing. Okay, and then we can actually garnish it. It looks a bit pale, so we just garnish it with some coriander. Yeah, some fresh coriander leaves. Yeah, so that's it. We call it bianchi. We call this dish bianchi. Actually, you can actually add make some croutons and then you garnish it with some croutons, but I don't think that's necessary. We don't normally do that because then it involves frying again, which can be a bit fattening. Okay, so here you go, bianchi. So this dish is called bianchi, or potato with fried with pork or meat. Okay, so if you try this, it's very simple, and a lot of British people like potato. My husband likes it very much. So this is something that you can try, which is a bit oriental and a bit English. The Worcestershire sauce part is very English, very British, and the soy sauce is very Chinese, so it's like a Eurasian dish. So it's like a proper Nyonya dish. So it's not that difficult. Alright, bye, enjoy. I'll be cooking another dish later. See you then, bye. Don't forget to subscribe and click like so that you'll motivate me to do more. So I'm Loretta, Nyonya Recipe. I'll see you again. Bye.